Alright, today we have more Ossiarch Bonereapers in Null Myriad again. We have a Soul Mason. He is my general. He's got the Aura of Sterility for -1 hit and wound from shooting attacks, wholly within 12, which looks like it probably won't come into play today either. He also has the Load of Saturation for +1 to ward rolls, and his universal spell is Levitate. He knows all the spells in the book. He's a 2-caster. Katakros as well as Arcan are both here. That's all my heroes. I have Morghast Harbingers. I have 20 Mortek Guard with spears. I have 2 units of 5 Death Riders with swords, with the Boneside Shrieker, and I have the Aether Void Pendulum. And that's all in, well, all except for Arcan is in a battle regiment, making me 2-drop, and I'm 1980 points. Going against Soulblight Gravelords.
And what's your triumph?
Oh, Triumph is going to be inspired for +1 to wound.
Alright.
Grand strategy will be the scales balanced. I have to have one of these 3 units here, Death Riders or Mortek Guard, at full strength at the end of the game.
Okay, you'll be getting your triumph. Alright, super excited about this one, guys. I've been looking forward to the Skellies for a long time here. Yeah, I know there's some vampires in there too, but my heart's made of bone. Okay, we're going to do Legion of Blood. This will be my first time playing the army. I've been working on them for a little while there. We're going to have our grand strategy going to be Empire of Corpses. We're going to, by the end of the game, we're supposed to have 3 summonable units that come back. So we'll try that. General is going to be front and center, Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon. One of my favorite units. Got the Deathlance on him. He's going to have the command trait Doomed Minions. And the artifact for Cloak of Mist and Shadows. Spell will be Vile Transference. So that's kind of a standard loadout I think we've been seeing around. So I figured I'd just try it out and before I get too creative with it on my own. We'll have a Vampire Lord on foot here. Have a spell, the Soulpike. Not really taking too much. This would be my 2 spells. I'm not taking anything from the new GHB. Just going to try out all the things from the book that I can. Get my feet wet. We'll have 5 Blood Knights here with lances. The Vargheists. That'll be our vampire side. That'll be 1 battle regiment there. Coming over to the Skelly side, this is where the fun is. We got a Wight King on foot, a Wight King on Skeletal Steed, 5 Black Knights there in the back, 3 units of 10 Skeletons, and 1 unit of 20 Grave Guard with great weapons. 2-drop, 2,000 points on the nose, which will be given our Ossiarch Bonereapers player the triumph. Alright, today we'll be playing Fountains of Frost. That's going to be 6 objectives. I score 1, 2 more. The little twist on this one is going to be the Geysers of Primal Magic. At the end of each Battle Shock phase, if there's 3 or more units contesting objectives on a 4-up, taking D3. So did some deployment here. Got the Vargheists there in reserve. The Grave Guard are in the grave, as they should, guarding them. Haha. 3 units of 10 Skellies across the front. Got our summonable units over here. Black Knights, Wight King on Steed, Vampire Lord on foot there. The Wight King supporting. Zombie Dragon on this left flank with the Blood Knights. What you got over here?
Yeah, I got Harbingers set up in reserve, because that's what they're there for. Death Riders on either side. Katakros and Arcan in the back, along with the Soul Mason, who is getting the Lookout Serve from the Mortek Guard, not get shot off by the Zombie Dragon. Everything should be wholly within 24 inches of everywhere that matters. And we'll be going into OBR turn 1 with 8 command points.
There we go. Battle tactic.
Yeah, battle tactic is going to be intimidate the invaders. So working on the hero action.
Alright.
Alright, end of OBR turn 1. Got all kinds of buffs off over here. We have Endless Duty from Katakros. We have +1 to wound from the Soul Mason. We have Mystic Shield from Arcan. We have Reinforced Constructs for 4 upward against mortal wounds, also from the Soul Mason. And we have this that I can't even remember what it does, but I'll figure it out later. Oh, this is Reinforced Netherite Weapons, or Empowered Netherite Weapons, so they have Exploding 5s as well. These guys have +1 to wound from the Soul Mason's chair at the end of the hero phase. And Arcan was gonna attempt to cast the Soul Release spell for a 12-inch spell with no summoned units or reserve units being set up within that range of it. But after rolling a modified 11, Wight King rolled a 12 with his heroic willpower and got rid of that. So none of that. But other than that, everything just moved up. I'm going to be scoring 1 for 1, 1 for 2, and 2 for my Intimidate the Invaders battle tactic for 4 points this turn.
Alright. End of Soulblight Gravelords turn 1. We took our battle tactic Intimidate the Invaders. It was pretty easy to get everybody outside, or more than half outside. We've moved all our units up to the right here. Brought down the Grave Guard from the graveyard. They failed their charge, re-rolled. They had an 8, and then re-rolled it to like a 6. Brought the Vargheists over here too, trying to see if we could take out this flank. Seemed a little weaker in terms of objective control. And we didn't get any charges off. Kind of set up the Blood Knights over here for a double turn if possible to get in over there. Zombie Dragon shifted over a little bit to the left. We got off the Zombie Dragon's spell, and we're going to try and kill this Deathrider unit, the 3-up, his War Scroll spell. 3-up, do a mortal wound until you stop rolling it, and he unbound it. We had an 18 with our primal dice, and he ended up getting a 19. We did not get off anything else. So that's the end of the turn.
Oh, you got the Soul Lance.
Oh, I did get the Soulpike. Yeah, I did get the Soulpike off on this unit. So when they charge to want to do their mortals, they're going to do mortals themselves back. So we got some of that going on. So 4 points for the turn. Going into the roll off for turn 2. 6 for the Skellies. I think we're going to go into a Skelly turn. We'll think about it though. End of charge phase for Soulblight, top of turn 2. We took our heroic action on the Zombie Dragon to make him spend 2 command points for all-out defense. Inspiring Presence won't work here because they're bony like we are. Did some casting, didn't get anything off. Failed one, and then got the other one unbound. Primal dice were used. Primal dice were countered. Made some charges. Oh, I did get the Mystic Shield off. That's the only one I did get off on the Blood Knights. Blood Knight made their charges. The Zombie Dragon's Pestilential Breath got 5 on the attacks. Didn't do any damage. Disappointing. Charging the Skeletons here for a little bit of a screen from the Mortec Guard that are piled up there. And over here, Grave Guard made a 10-inch charge. Got in really far over here. 7 mortal wounds on the charge from the Black Knights. Did some damage. And we got the Vargheist in on the back over here. Our battle tactic that we took was to expand the Grave Empire. Control 2 objectives wholly outside of our terrain at the end of the turn with summonable or vampire units. Hopefully we can, we're going to activate first over here with the Grave Guard. Debated back and forth between the Vampire Lord going first. Tried to stomp and failed. But we think it's probably better for us long term to take out Arcan and establish good control over this side of the board. So we're going to activate, going in the combat phase with the Grave Guard. Alright, end of Soulblight turn 2. We took a turn, did some combats over here. We did, how much we said to Arcan? 12?
You did 12.
We did 12.
These guys did 6, which they ended up healing afterwards, so I was at 6, and then they attacked me, did 4, and healed the wounds on them.
Yeah, you activated second with Arcan before I could go with the Vargheist and did 6 damage, so you healed it and stayed alive. After all that, the Death Riders, there's still one Death Rider right there, somehow.
Those guys are gone.
Over here, on this front, our second activation was the Blood Knights took out the Death Riders, made way for the Zombie Dragon to pile in, tagged Catacross. Did 13 to him on the slap back, only took 3 wounds. Then the objectives blew up, doing some mortal wounds. Insignificant, pretty much 1 wound to everybody.
Yeah.
That was over here on this objective. Didn't roll it for over here. Yeah. The -1 to hit did some work over here on the zombie dragon for Catacross, and ended up taking that objective and the one over here for more, putting us at a score of, I don't know, what is it, 9-4. Going into OBR turn 2.
Alright, end of OBR turn 2 movement phase. We had battle tactic is going to be bait and trap, our retreating Catacross, Death Riders, and Arcan to get them out of combat because they didn't need to be there. Cast the Pendulum with the Soul Mason and the Shrieker with Arcan. So we have both those there now. Hoping for a charge with the Mortec Guard, which have Endless Duty and Empower Netherite weapons. The Soul Mason spell was Unbound. And Arcan also casts, he casts Empower Netherite weapons. He casts the Bone-Tithe Shrieker, and he casts Curse of Years on the Zombie Dragon. He did 2 mortal wounds, and we didn't get any 5s. I was at Catacross retreating out, so hopefully, I'm basically looking for a double turn here, and that would let me get back 2 Death Riders over here, and I would also heal up a little bit more on Catacross as well as Arcan. And if I can kill him this turn, that's the biggest thing I'm looking for here, is try and finish him off, and hopefully a few more of the Blood Knights. Got the Pendulum there to try and make sure things get finished off at some point if it doesn't get unbalanced. Going into no shooting phase, so charge phase, OBR turn 2. End of OBR turn 2. Did not kill him, and he ended up killing 5 of us, so we healed back. Did like, I don't know, 1-2 damage to him, and so not much happened there.
Skellies died though.
Skellies.
Almost didn't though.
Yeah. Wasn't able to get +1 to hit or +1 to wound. Forgot to try the Soul Mason's extra casting of the spell after it was unbound, so wasn't able to get +1 to wound on there. And Catacross was in combat, so no +1 to hit, plus we were roared, so no command points in the combat phase. Failed the charge with the Harbingers, was the biggest problem here though. And then rolled a 9 with the Soul Mason, which I needed to get in just to get my battle tactic, which I did accomplish. And I am holding 2 objectives for a total of 8 points to 9. And going into turn 3, roll off. That's not going to work for me.
I win that automatically. So we'll be going into Soulblight because I think it would be bad for that dragon if I don't. Let's keep going with the bones. Into the movement phase for Soulblight, top of turn 3. We picked as our battle tactic the Lead into the Maelstrom. We picked this battle line unit of Skellies right here, and paired them with the hero that we picked was the Wight King on Skeletal Steed there. And they need to be in combat at the end of the turn. So Skeletons are not great at killing stuff, so maybe they'll be the ideal thing to be in combat at the end. But they are weirdly good at coming back to life, so let's try that. We failed to bring back our skeleton unit. We got some casting off. We did the War Scroll spell for the curse on the Morghast. We only did 3 mortals before he rolled a ward. Moved our Blood Knights up over here. And dispelled the Pendulum. Did the heroic action on the Vampire Lord so that turn off wards when he's within combat with a unit. Moved up everything over here to try and take out Arcan. Yep, because he's been healing like crazy. You healed a couple wounds on Catacross.
Yeah, I healed 1 with heroic recovery.
Yep. And we're going to go into some charges and see what happened. Actually, some shooting first. Yeah, because he's got some shooting. See if he'll do anything. And then we'll come back. Alright, end of Soulblight, turn 3. There are still 4 Mortec Guard remaining. The Harbingers are not remaining. The Blood Knights did their job, made that charge. We had 10-inch charges being made all over the place. The Vargheists died. You just exploded those 2 guys They just did all the wounds.
Popped
What you did?
off on both these units.
Yeah, the Mortec.
Damage through to the zombie dragon, which was new, and this one dude did 7 damage to the skeletons.
Yep, took between the skeletons. The goal was to have them within combat, a unit at the end, and I cheekily tried to get smart and go over there and chink a couple wounds off onto the Death Riders with them, and that's what cost me. I didn't think the hero and 1 Mortec guard and then would do enough damage to completely wipe the skeleton unit, but they did exactly enough. So we failed the battle tactic because we finally killed Arcan. Bittersweet moment there, because our other unit, which was the hero, to be within 3 inches of a enemy unit for the battle tactic, we killed him, so he's not there to be within 3 inches of. But we killed Arcan, so that's good, I guess. In long run, probably good. Zombie Dragon did not kill all the Mortec, even though he was on 2s from his marking that unit at the beginning of the game. So we'll be scoring 1, 2, and more, which will bring us to 12 to 8 in a roll. No, not roll off. But going into the bottom.
Arcan has died. This is going away because it was soul bounded to him.
Soul bounded to him. Okay, that's gone. And so it's going to be bottom of turn 3 going into OBR.
End of OBR turn 3. Battle tactic was get the Death Riders charged in and have them in combat at the end of the turn, but those things happen somehow. Catacross came in, did 11 damage, popped off with his glaive and shield. Hold no objectives, but do score 2 points for my battle tactic. Mortec guard were wiped off the battlefield. Doesn't look like there's going to be any hope for my grand strategy either. But
Catacross did 12 damage.
11 damage.
11 damage.
Was it 1 beforehand?
Yeah.
After healings.
Crazy.
Yeah. Finally remembered his command ability for the first time in the game using his attacks. Forgot it for all kinds of other stuff, but...
Yep. I forgot the attacks, +1 attacks characteristics for vampire heroes that are within combat when they're enraged. So, learn the game. So that's going to score you 2 points.
2 points, 10 to 12.
Yep. Going to roll off. 6 for the Gravelords. And I would take it, and I think that might wrap us up there.
Yeah.
We'll just kind of see what we can do. End of Soulblight turn 4. We went with Surround and Destroy. We retreated our zombie dragon out. Cowardly move. Screened him with the Blood Knights, which we also retreated. Once again, cowardly. Left the Death Rider there. Brought back 1 unit of 5 Skellies. Trying to get that grand strategy. And the Black Knights went for the board edge over here. And the Wight King on Skeletal Steed right here. So that gets our battle tactic 1, 2 more. No combat, no charges. Putting us up 17 to 10. And Bonereapers turn next. Bottom of 4.
End of OBR turn 4. Got the Pendulum off. Got Magical Dominance battle tactic. Healed the 1 wound on my Death Rider. Healed the wounds on the rest of my guys. Scored 1 for 1, 1 for 2, and 2 from a battle tactic. 14 points.
14 points. Now I brought back 1 skeleton unit right here. So 1 away from my grand strategy. Just gotta have another unit die basically. Alright, so the score is 17 to 15.
14.
17 to 14.
End of charge phase for OBR turn 5. Killed off the general with the primal miscast. Got the pendulum dispelled by the vampire lord. And charged in Catacross and the Death Riders with led into the Maelstrom. Vampire lords failed his shooting attacks with Unleash Hell into them, so I guess that helped. We'll be going into combat phase.
Yep, hadn't done any damage really with the Pestilential Breath. He's not doing well on that. We did roar Catacross, and we finally towered the Vampire Lord. Not sure it's going to help though. He's got 11 wounds on him.
End of OBR turn 5. Catacross took long enough to kill the zombie dragon, so he's finally dead.
Got him. He's down.
Took 4 wounds from the Blood Knights, which is fine because he's still in combat, meaning I still get led into the Maelstrom even though the other unit of Death Riders did kill the skeletons they charged into, which is kind of how I hoped it would go. So yeah, I got that. Catacross command ability coming in great. I wish I could use it more. So yeah, I'm gonna score 1 for 1, 1 for 2, because I still hold these even though there's nobody on them anymore and I killed the general. And 2 of my battle tactic up to 18, 17. I'm going into turn 5, Soulblight Gravelords.
Okay, end of Soulblight turn 5. The only thing that really mattered was, can I get a battle tactic? We did magical dominance since there weren't any wizards on the field, and Catacross was not in range for heroic willpower. We got an 11 to cast. No need for pommel dice here. We do not get our grand strategy because I do not have another summonable unit that's dead to bring back, because all my summonable units were hiding over here and never really got fully wiped from combat, because this area over here was not really heavily contested for, I guess, over the course of the game. So I will not get my Empire Corpses grand strategy, and you will not get your Scales Balanced grand strategy.
Right, the ponies are not back to full.
They're not back to full. Got 2 of them. And that's going to round us out at 22 to 18 for a Soulblight victory. First time with the army. Enjoyed them thoroughly. Skeletons, for some reason, just rustling my jimmies, as they say. And Zombie Lord, or Vampire Lord and Zombie Dragon, was my personal favorite. Been looking forward to using him for a while. Catacross was really difficult. Not sure what to do about that. Kind of lucked out with Arcan dying. Thoughts from your side versus this army and your OBR?
Yeah, I mean, Catacross is 100% auto-include, especially if I can remember to use a command ability, but I'd have taken him in this list even after forgetting to do it. He's got good damage against heroes, though that's not really where you want him, and his command ability is incredible. Plus -1 to hit on some units somewhere on the board is great. Probably should have built the list with more actual units, because with the Harbingers in the sky, I didn't actually have 7 units on the battlefield turn 1 to get my 6 command points, so I lost out on 3 first and second turn. Because turn 2, when I lost one of my Death Rider units, so they were gone, so even after I brought my Harbingers out, I was still at 6. So with that in mind, that would have been better. Mortek Guard would be great with buffs and Catacross's command ability. Unfortunately, I don't think they ever ended up with either in combat, except for one time, and that was half their buffs. But even then, I mean, the one greatsword dude did 7 damage to the skeleton, so their Mortek Guard are great in the right circumstances. Death Riders didn't really get to do much of what they were here for, but I think they're probably a great unit. Their impact damage is nice. 3 units might be better for them to really spread that impact damage, but overall they're good. Harbingers never did anything the whole game, so that was sad, but I mean, I'm banging on a 9-inch charge isn't great.
Well, if you would have gotten them in, that would have been probably the turning point.
I mean, hopefully they did damage. They do a lot of rends, so that wouldn't have mattered for anything, but hopefully they'd killed them. But failed the 9-inch charge, which is about average. So, and yeah, Arcan dying, I mean, he's honestly kind of survived for longer than he should have, probably. Him healing when he does damage is great. And 14 wounds is nice. 4-up save is nice, especially in a tanky army, but I mean, he had probably more than half of the Soulblight army on top of him. The Death Riders didn't do a whole lot of good. So, but overall, all the bad stuff that happened here, I could probably point to Catacross's command ability or just things I missed. And yeah, Graveguard do lots of damage. And was kind of surprising, but just because I hadn't played them before. Blood Knights are great. I already knew that, but really driving home how great they were. And Vampire Lord on Zombie Dragon is incredibly tanky when he has a 3-up save that can't be rented. So, yeah, hard to deal with.
Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. The lists are also down there in the description. Thoughts on more Soulblight lists? I'd like to hear what you guys think.